Parliament this afternoon. She loves Nick Ferrari, she was telling me. Who'd have thought? Well, there we go. Now, we're talking about sentencing and Ken Clarke's proposals, which were sort of abandoned today. Sort of. I say sort of because Ken Clarke says it's not a U-turn at all. But I wonder what you think. 0845 6060 973. Herbie's in Greenford. Hello, Herbie.
Yes, good evening, Ian.
Hi.
Here we go again. Yet another U-turn, whichever way you look at it. I don't know how many U-turn signs they must have in the government. There must be quite a few, actually. The thing is, Ian, is that they're doing nothing constructive and doing it well. They must be having jobs work people advising them where to go and what to do, because nothing seems to be happening and nothing seems to be finished. It's partly done and then it's never finished. It's do this, do that, and see how it works out. Nothing's planned to do the job properly. They're trying to do too much too soon with the time that they got. They're not doing anything, and they're not finishing it. I can't see anything that's worth looking at the moment.
Well,
you turn.
I suspect they would say, give us a chance. We've only been in power for 13 months.
But why try to do too much too quickly, Ian? Why don't they do one job or two jobs at a time and perfect it, rather than make themselves look like idiots?
Oh, I hear what you say, but I suppose that nowadays a new government wants to hit the ground running. If you remember, Tony Blair said he wasted his first term because they just didn't hit the ground running. They didn't carry out the reforms that they should have done. I think David Cameron knew that and was determined not to make the same mistakes. So they, in their first month, they had all sorts of initiatives planned, and I think you're right. Maybe they did take on too much at the beginning, but I suppose rather that than just not do anything.
But surely the advisors, Ian, that can't be advising them correctly. Otherwise, they would really sit down and look at it and say, look, hold on a minute, before we make ourselves look more stupid than we already are, let's sit down and work out how we can see this and make sure it's going to work. Do a pilot, do something different, rather than just announce this great thing that they're about to achieve and do, and it falls flat on their face. What's the point in it? It's costing us money again. We're achieving nothing. It's making us look stupid in the administration we now have in power. And what's the point? There's no point whatsoever in it. Nothing's been done. Nothing's been sorted out, and nothing's been corrected. It's just costing time and money and a waste of effort. A lot of hot air. That's polluting the atmosphere as well with all the hot air that's going out of the Parliament.
All right, Herbie, thanks a lot for your call. Paul's in Bromley. I don't think you agree with that, do you, Paul?
Oh, complete opposite. It just makes me laugh. The chap from Sheerness talk about socialist government, and yet all round Europe, the socialist governments are crumbling under this mountain of debt, including Greece, just about to go bankrupt. But that's another subject. I just find a couple of guys you've had on recently don't understand what coalition government's all about.
Well, tell us.
Well, I think it's two parties that have come together who are on different sides of political divide, as it were. Well, not completely. But the whole, every programme that's been announced from the coalition, has been discussed and points of view have been put across, and hopefully the best policy comes forward. And that includes this crime situation.
But is that really, I agree with you, that's the ideal situation, but has that really happened here? Because I think this has been more driven by the tabloid press and backbench Conservative MPs than anything to do with coalition politics.
No, I don't think so. I think, there was genuine concerns from a lady who was on the radio. Ken Clarke got grilled on the radio. I mean, it's quite amusing that she seems to backtrack now. But I think, when you see genuine concerns and there was, I think, a 30% discount available anyway, and I was moving to make it 50%. If that appears not to be the best policy, then they've obviously moved away from that.
OK, Paul, thanks very much indeed. Shahid's in Hemel Hempstead. Hello, Shahid.
Yeah, hi, Ian. I'll tell you what I'm not happy about. I'm not happy that both Labour and the Conservatives, they just don't seem to be interested in having a proper justice system. What on earth are they doing, cutting from justice? If you want a decent justice system, you don't think about the numbers per se, you think about running it properly. They're talking about drug-free wings. In my local jail in my town, people can go all the way up to the jail, and we hear reports that tennis rackets are being used to get drugs over the fence.
Well, I'll tell you what about drug-free wings. I want drug-free jails, not just wings of jails. Well, exactly. It's admitting defeat, isn't it?
Look, with the cuts that they're doing, or they're more concerned about money, all we're going to do is allow a higher chance of innocent people being convicted and those that are career criminals having a very soft life.
I'm not sure you're right on that, because we do have the most expensive criminal justice system in the world, and something needs to be done about that.
Maybe that's because the private sector are involved too much. Maybe it's because it's those that are involved in providing legal services who don't really provide a very good service, in my opinion. Maybe the time has come, if we really want justice, if we've got the assumption that people are innocent until proven guilty, instead of handing it over to private lawyers, private sector lawyers, have government-appointed defenders until they've proved guilty. What's wrong with one half of the government prosecuting and a government-funded lawyer, but part of the government...
Because we haven't got the money, Shahid.
Well, isn't it costing us more for the private sector? But in any case, if we really want proper justice, can you imagine the damage it does to people's lives? If you're wrongly convicted or you're falsely accused, look at that Facebook juror. There's so many examples of where the justice system is not working, is not gelling, and neither Labour or the Conservative Party seem to care. All they seem to care is how can we calculate to please enough people, bribe enough people to get into power. Oh, let's whack billions extra into the NHS that is not needed at the moment, because the baby boomers are retiring. The baby boomers are retiring this year. I don't think their health is going to pack up on them on average for about another 10 years. But David Cameron wants to throw an extra 11 billion at the NHS on top of record levels of increases in the NHS over 12 years.
But isn't this in the end an example of where, our political system does work in the end, because politicians have to make their choices. Cameron has chosen to ring-fence health and international development. You would ring-fence criminal justice. Well, that's choices you have to make.
It's all calculating policies. How can we please enough people, bribe enough people for certain benefits, go for the policies that sound good, but health does not need an extra 13 billion.
I rather agree with you there, Shahid. Yeah. I want to get one more caller in. Thank you very much for your call, Shahid. Paul is in Ruislip. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Ian. Well, 2 points really. First of all, the previous governments over the last few years have let the mental institutions go. They've put less money into so there's a lot of people in prison who shouldn't be in prison. They should be in hospital. Do you agree?
I think I probably do. Yeah. I mean, mental health has always been a Cinderella service.
So if I was, let's say you were my son. I'm the government and my people are my children. I would invest more money in mental institutions to cure the mental people or look after them. And 2, I would put a lot more money into stopping drugs coming in the country, which they could easily do if they wanted to. And also, they should bar special brew and the strong lagers and the strong beers, make it 3%.
Well, that would be an interesting suggestion. I'm not sure what that would solve on criminal justice, but maybe sort of on a Friday night there'd be fewer offences committed. Thank you for your call, Paul. Michael says people are losing faith in the law. Criminals have nothing to fear. Soft sentences, luxury jails, handouts when released. This is LBC 97.3.
Kids don't just have a lot of energy.